I bought the cheapest double stack 9mm 1911 I could. This is the Tisas 1911 carry double stack. I looked up how to pronounce the company name. Apparently it's Tisas. I'm going to forget that and probably pronounce it as Tisas or Tisas, like the uncultured swine I am. I wanted to see how good this pistol is for the price. This will be the first of a series of videos I plan on making about this pistol. In this one, I will compare budget double stack 1911 options and put them into price tiers. I will share what features were important to me when selecting this pistol and explain why I chose this offering over the others on the market. I will shoot the gun using different magazines and ammo to get a feel for it and give my thoughts on the value of this pistol and where it fits in the budget double stack 1911 space. Think of this kind of as an unboxing, first rounds and initial impressions type of video. I feel like this goes without saying, but my channel is not big enough for anyone in the industry to send me free shit. I paid for this pistol myself, and all the opinions contained herein are my own. Timestamps will be provided as always, so you can skip around as you please. I will link to some other good videos I found on this pistol and a couple pages from the Tisas site in the description. A robust selection of budget double stack 1911 options have popped up since the release of the Springfield Prodigy. Maybe it kind of started before that with some of the Bull Armory offerings. Now I think we can even break down the budget offerings into different price tiers. The lowest price tier includes this Tisas 1911 DS, the Gerson Witness 2311, and the Rock Island Armory TAC Ultra. These are between $750 and about $900. The next tier up is around $950 to $1,200. This includes the Live Free Armory Apollo 11, the Mac 9 DS, which is essentially a higher trim level of the Tisas, and the Springfield Prodigy. The next tier up is from about $1,200 or $1,300 to whatever the cheapest Staccato is, so like $2,200, $2,300. This includes some Bull Armory offerings, and I would stick the Stealth Arms Platypus and Oracle Arms 2311 in this category too. Can $1,200 to $2,200 really be considered budget? I would say not in general, but for this type of gun, I think so. That's all I could come up with. Please let me know if I missed a gun in one of these categories. The features I wanted but were not required were a commander length barrel or a barrel option shorter than 5 inches. That's just a slide length I prefer on 9mm 1911s. Preferably a bull barrel. I like the additional non-reciprocating mass out front and the simplified takedown. And a steel frame. I don't intend to carry this. It will be for range use, so I wanted more weight for a softer shooting gun. Non-negotiable features were standard 2011, Staccato STI pattern mag compatibility. I plan on getting more 2011 style pistols in the future, and that is the most common magazine used for those types of guns, and I wanted to standardize across future purchases. I wanted a separate frame and grip module like a Staccato, as that would provide the most options for aftermarket support and parts, and I had to have an optic cut on the slide, preferably an RMR footprint. Why did I choose the Tisas? Well, I wanted it cheap, so that puts me in the first price tier. I wanted a bull barrel if possible, but that would have pushed me into the next price tier with the Mac 9 DS or Apollo 11 for around $950 to $1,000, or the Prodigy for $1,200 to $1,300. In this second price tier, the pistols usually come with an optic plate system and an RMR footprint, which I would have liked, but there are lots of good options for the RMSC Holosun K footprint. It wasn't a big deal to me as long as the cheaper guns had some sort of optic cut. Glock or P320 mags with the Platypus or Oracle arms respectively would have been fine, as I already own both those styles of magazines. The Bull Armory has proprietary magazines, and all three of these guns were not considered due to being in that highest price tier. That left me with the Rock Island, Gerson, and Tisas, with the Tisas being the cheapest of the three. The Rock takes old Para-Ordnance double stack mags, I believe. It doesn't have an option for an optic cut, and the frame and grip are one piece, so that one was out for multiple reasons. The Gerson and Tisas are pretty comparable. Flip a coin or pick one over the other based on your preferences. I went with the Tisas because it retains its rear iron sight with the optic mounted. The Gerson rear sight is on the optic cover plate and goes away if you mount a red dot. Not a huge deal for how I intend to use this pistol, but if there's an option for a backup sighting system on any of my guns, I do prefer that. The Tisas frame is steel, which is what I wanted. The Gerson frame is aluminum, which may be good if you're looking for a concealed carry option. And personally, I just like the look of the Tisas a little better. So I picked up this Tisas for $750 on Palmetto State Armory. And of course, a few days after I ordered it, my buddy sent me this. Battlehawk Armory had them on sale for an insane price. As far as I know, this is the cheapest double stack 1911 you can buy as of mid-2024. This gun comes with a decent lockable hard case, And to my surprise, it came with 2 mags. Apparently these mags are made for Tisas by Checkmate, and if purchased separately, they're around $50 each. I believe Checkmate also makes the mags, or part of the mags, for Staccato. They sure do look and feel similar. You also get a barrel bushing wrench, lock, owner's manual, bore brush, other standard shit. One thing I will mention, it does come with a little wrench for the optic cover plate. They do not give you any other screws to mount your optic, and these are a funky thread pitch, so that's something to keep in mind. I'm not going to read off a spec sheet to you. There was some more technical information I was looking for, and I'll share what I found while poking around on the Tisas site. The slide and frame are forged 4140 chromoly alloy steel. The slide finish is listed as QPQ, which is a process associated with nitrocarburization like nitride or melanite. The frame finish is listed as Cerakote. I'm not sure if the steel underneath it has any finish like QPQ. The barrel is also made from forged 4140 and hard chrome plated. All Tisas pistols are rated for +P ammo. Now here's what I was most surprised by. I will quote what I found on the FAQ page. Tisas does not use any cast metal parts in our firearms. The use of quality MIM parts on some models was used in prior generations of our 1911 products, but mid-2022, we began moving away from the use of those parts. Tisas models produced after 11/1/2022 contain machined internal parts with the exception of the recoil spring plug. They're saying the internals of this gun are billet. I did confirm this. The one thing that I'm not wild about is that the finish on the internal parts appears to be Cerakote. However, the machined internals are a surprise to me, and at this price point, it's very nice. Now to shoot it and see how it performs, but first, with all new pistols, I field strip it, wipe it down, give it a quick once over, and re-lube it. I wanted to put a couple hundred rounds through it and get a feel for it and hopefully get it past any sort of break-in period. Tisas says 100 to 300 rounds for break-in on their pistols. I used the 2 mags it came with, Staccato mags and Prodigy Duramags. I shot 6 different kinds of ammo through it. I also shot a group at 25 yards from bag support with S&B 124 grain to get an idea of accuracy. Let's see how it did. Let's take a look at this accuracy. This is from 25 yards with a bag support with S&B 124 grain full metal jacket. Keep in mind, this is more of a first shots and initial impressions video. I only put 200 rounds through it, which is not that much. This won't be a good gauge of long-term reliability, and my sample size is 1, but I think I got a good feel for this pistol. I used 3 different kind of mags and 6 different ammo types, varying bullet weights and shapes, round nose, flat nose, hollow point, etc. I did have one failure to go into battery with the Fiocchi 158 grain there at the end, but I have had lots of trouble with that ammo feeding properly in multiple pistols and even my CZ Scorpion. So I'm going to chalk that one failure up to the ammo and give this thing a check for initial reliability. It ran good with all the ammo and all the mags into the slide, locked back on the last shot every time. I was able to drop the slide with the slide stop and have it chamber the first round on a full mag reliably as well. The ejection was a little weak with the lighter 9mm loads because this pistol is rated for +P ammo, so it does have a 16-pound recoil spring. I will likely drop the recoil spring weight 1 to 2 pounds for my normal range ammo. Now let's talk about that accuracy. First off, it was hitting low at 25 yards. The sights were on around 7 to 10 yards, so that's all good. The group seemed to be relatively centered windage wise. The group was about 6.5 inches. This pistol has a few things working against it in the accuracy department. One, me as the shooter, I'm not that good nor patient, but here's a pick of about the best I can do at 25 yards with a very accurate pistol, maybe 2.5 to 3 inch group. Two, these iron sights are very coarse, really wide front post and a very wide rear notch, which leads to inconsistency and vagueness with the sight picture. Three, the trigger is heavy. It's hard to break the shot without moving the sights. And four, the barrel bushing is pretty loose. I measured 0.06 clearance on the diameter with the barrel, and the OD is pretty loose in the slide as well, as you can see here when I move that recoil spring plug. However, this is not really surprising to me for a 1911 of this price point. I'm not blown away by this accuracy, but based on how the pistol's set up and the fit of the barrel bushing, I feel it's to be expected and not terrible. Luckily, this takes standard Commander 1911 barrel bushings. The barrel OD is the same as a .45 caliber, so you can get a new bushing for about 25 bucks and fit it to tighten that up, and that's likely what I'll do. The reliability and accuracy are a little more objective. The rest of my impressions of this gun will be unavoidably subjective and largely based on my preferences. I may get a little nitpicky and mention things the majority of folks won't give a shit about. Let's talk about the trigger first. The take-up is heavy and long. There's no provision for pre-travel or over-travel adjustment. I would have really loved an over-travel adjustment screw. The profile of the trigger is fine with me. It's a little bit short for my hand and finger size. Nice, firm wall, minimal creep, crisp break, but again, it's pretty heavy. Reset is a bit long, but very positive, very audible, very tactile. It really pushes your finger out. Let's get an idea of trigger weight. 5 pounds. 5 pounds. 5 pounds. This grip safety is fine with me. The profile of it doesn't bother me. I've never had issues with grip safeties disengaging with my hand size and maybe just how I grip the pistol, you know, on a 1911. The release point of it is a little bit further in the travel than I would like, but that's pretty easily adjustable. The thumb safety. It is nice, positive, crisp. There is just a tiny bit of mush down here on the bottom. The profile of it is a little bit narrow for my taste. I like a wider ledge to rest my thumb on, but I think for, you know, general use, and especially if this is more concealed carry duty oriented, this thumb safety profile makes a lot of sense. You can see it's nicely blended back here, but it's pretty sharp on this edge back here. So if you're a left-handed shooter, this might start to bite you. I didn't notice it when I was shooting it left-handed, and I didn't notice it when I was shooting with my normal shooting grip. The slide stop is great in my opinion. It is just the right size, right shape. I'm pleased with it. It works great. Mag release size is fine. It's pretty gritty and stiff, but it works well. It's positive. It would have been nice if they maybe put a little texture on the button here, but whatever. The grip texture on the front and back strap here is nice. It's pretty grippy. It's like 25 lines per inch checkering. There is nothing going on in terms of texture right here. It is super, super slick. Obviously, there's nothing going on right here either, which I don't know why they wouldn't carry the checkering all the way up there. So definitely lacking in the grip texture department, in my opinion. Other than that, the grip is pretty comfortable. These Doublestack 1911s have a pretty chunky grip, but I have large hands, so it fits me well. I like these slide serrations. They're pretty grippy. I wish these were carried back a little bit. I wish there was some up over the top of the slide, but I know that would add a lot of complexity to their machining operation, so I understand why they did the slide serrations the way they did. They work just fine. The slide feels pretty nice and smooth. There's a little bit of play between the slide and the frame. It's not the tightest fit, but I wouldn't expect it to be. So fit, finish, features, all that sort of stuff really does feel pretty reasonable for this price point. One thing I'm not crazy about, Tisas mentions this on their site, is that this pick rail won't really accommodate full-size lights. Just make it one slot longer. What's the problem with that? I tried X300B, X300A model, Streamlight TLR1, every single little adapter and block I have for them, not one of these will fit. One of the videos I linked in the description is from QVO Tactical, and Roger over there has designed and made some adapters for these lights to adapt them to this extra short rail on this gun, so things are available. I'm not blown away by the performance or value of this pistol. I think its performance, fit, finish, and reliability are right where they should be for how much it cost. I would feel a lot more jazzed about it had I paid 620 bucks like my buddy found it for right after I ordered this for $750. I think it's a solid contender and competitive offering in the budget double stack 1911 market. I think it punches above its weight class in a couple areas: the billet internals and the optic mounting platform. The Staccato 2011 magazine compatibility, especially with how available and relatively cheap these Prodigy Duramags are now, adds a lot of value. Compared to something like the Rock Island TAC Ultra, which has no optics cut and uses less common magazines, comes in about $30 more than this. Of course, my sample size is 1. I did see a few videos on this pistol with similar results. I have linked to some of those in the description. Based on my initial impressions, I don't foresee any issues with the longevity of this pistol, especially with the billet internals. I would expect most of these pistols to come right out of the box and run great and be reliable for people. If you're looking to get into the double stack 1911 game as cheap as possible, I think this is a very solid option. So that wraps up this first video on the Tisas 1911 carry double stack. I plan on making 2 more videos featuring this pistol. Next, there will be some budget-minded upgrades, a full tune-up, and some adjustments to tailor this pistol to my liking and improve performance. I will discuss the value of this pistol in terms of a starting point for upgrades. I do my own barrel porting, so the third video will be about the port design and machining with my usual performance comparison. I will include any recoil spring tuning associated with the porting. I will have this HoloSun EPS red dot on there by then too, so I'll discuss the optic mounting platform and the goofy non-standard screw size and what kind of hardware is needed. I will also be installing a magwell. So stay tuned for more content on this pistol. I hope this was interesting, informative, and helpful. Thanks so much for watching.